Welcome to the Queer Thriving Podcast, where we draw inspiration from the past, cultivate thriving in the present, and dream boldly of a better future. Hi, I'm Kari. Any pronouns work for me? I'm glad you're here. I want to start by recognizing that I have a lot of privilege. I pass as cis-het, even though I am neither. And that affords me a lot of comfort that a lot of the queer community does not have. I have wondered a lot if I am, quote, queer enough to do this podcast, whatever that means. But honestly, doing this podcast made sense for me personally because, one, it gives me a framework for thinking critically and learning about queer thriving and advocacy. And it gives me a way to bring my thoughts together as I learn and grow. And two, I hope I can make a space for other people's stories to be heard. And it made sense to me because I think if you want something to exist and you have a desire and resources to make it, you should generally do it. But I have been reflecting a lot on where this concept of being queer enough really comes from and what it means in a larger way. In Audre Lorde's essay, "The Master's Tools Will Never Dismantle the Master's House," she talks about how oppressed groups sometimes unconsciously adopt tactics from the oppressive system and the importance of intersectional representation. Okay, so inciting horizontal hostility or lateral oppression is a way to divide a group or a movement into pieces in order to weaken the amount of power and momentum they can gain. We have seen in the past how light-skinned Black people were treated and continue to be in some ways better treated than darker-skinned Black people. Treating some less bad than others, but still not giving them full equality is a great tactic for sowing discord in a group. Treating trans people horribly and gay men less bad and bi people in straight passing relationships the best is a fantastic way to drive divisions into a group that would be otherwise far more united and powerful. Yes, there are real and painful differences in privileges given to different groups within the queer community. But if we allow these things to divide us, we allow ourselves to pick up those tools that we think we can use to dismantle the system, and we can't. What built the system is not the same thing as what's going to tear it down and build something new. Don't get caught up in the tricks of this divide and conquer strategy. Said another way, if I allow myself to be lulled into a sense of safety because of my relative comfort or position of privilege as a cis-het passing person, I disconnect or divorce myself from the reality of my queer community's suffering. Those in power flourish, and I enjoy the relative privilege that I experience, rather than joining with the larger queer community to find ways for all to thrive. Here's what Audre Lorde says. In a world of possibility for us all, our personal visions help lay the groundwork for political action. The failure of academic feminists to recognize difference as a crucial strength is a failure to reach beyond the first patriarchal lesson. In our world, divide and conquer must become define and empower. We shouldn't be tricked into thinking the differences among us mean that we are less aligned. Instead, it means that we are more equipped for representing the interests of everyone. Now, this goes both ways. This isn't just a request for people to accept the more privileged members of the community. It also means sacrificing privilege or utilizing privilege for those who are more comfortable when the most targeted are in the crosshairs. If people who receive harsher treatment in our society are being singled out, we all need to stand beside them. All of us who enjoy more privilege need to step up and make it clear that we are one community united. If we go down together. Attacking any part of us is an attack on all of us. We should stop asking ourselves if people are queer enough and instead recognize the importance of intersectionality and its relationship with privilege, and let that fuel our protectiveness for people marginalized the most, elevate their voices, embolden those with more privilege to leverage it, and work together for change. If you want to dive more into learning about topics like overcoming the fracturing impact of things like horizontal hostility, you should look into books like Killing Rage, Ending Racism by Bell Hooks, and Black Skin, White Masks by Frantz Fanon. Both of these approach these patterns from the perspectives of race and racism, but just know these same principles can be applied across movements. Until next time, keep resisting, keep dreaming, and keep thriving.